Welcome to another spoilers edition of the Player's Toolbox on Cardboard Swords. LSS really know how to do a preview season. There's loads to talk about, so let's get in. You read it right, the spoiler season got off with a blast with an assassin hero, a new class entering the game for the first time since Monarch. I say new hero, but actually this class has been in development since 2015 and was originally designed to be in Arcane Rising, but they couldn't make it balanced enough for the Arcane Rising limited game. Arachne is the name of the first assassin hero, and he's a member of the Spider, an elite group of assassins that operate around Wraith. His ability allows you to look at the top card of opposing hero's library and put it on the bottom if you want to, whenever you play a card with Contract. We've also seen some new assassin gear. We've got the Mask of Perdition, which blocks for 1, and as an attack reaction you can destroy it, and the target assassin attack action card gains when this hits a hero, banish the top card of their deck. You can also recur it by paying 2 silver to bring it back from your graveyard. We've also seen the legendary assassin leg equipment, the Black Tech Whisperers, which has the same block and recursion ability, but as an attack reaction it can give a target assassin attack go again, on hit. There are clear hints here that the assassin class is a class that wants to play in the reaction step. At first it might look like the assassins are bringing a knife to a gunfight with Spider's Bite, which only attacks for 1, but when you look into it, this is a really powerful weapon. It costs 2 to attack for 1, but the piercing ability is really annoying. It means equipment blocks are not really that efficient against this. When this hits, the ongoing effect it has of giving attack action cards 1 less defense means that breakpoints are really difficult to defend against. And when you see some of these cards, you're really going to need to defend against them. Slay the Scholars is a 0 cost assassin attack action. The red version comes in for 4, and it has Contract, so when you play it you'll trigger Arachne's ability. In this case, your contract's to banish opponents' non-attack action cards. Whenever you complete the contract you create a silver token, and when this hits a hero you banish the top card of their deck. Here we have another example in Fleece the Frail, a 0 cost attack for 4 with Contract, but this time you contracted to banish cards with 2 or less blocking power. We've not seen the ability to mess with an opponent's deck that much so far in Flesh and Blood, but it's undeniably a powerful ability. Banishing the top card means that you're messing with their pitch stack and denying them access to certain key cards. If you can fulfill a few contracts on the way, you can also recur some of your equipment and get more value out of that. Cut to the Chase seems to be one of the key tools in the old assassin box. It provides a buff as an attack reaction but also lets you opt your opponent's deck. We've also seen some 1 cost 5 attacks that have some contracts that seem extremely beneficial, like Annihilate the Armed, where you contracted to banish attack actions. We've also seen some more situational contract cards like Rob the Rich, where you contracted to banish opponent's cards with cost 2 or greater, so it's only useful against certain decks. Likewise, Punish the Poor wants you to banish cards with cost 1 or less. We've also seen Shred, an attack reaction with some pretty brutal artwork that gives a defending card -4 defense. Don't get excited though, this doesn't trigger temper on equipment because of the way the combat chain links resolve. Nevertheless, this is a pretty powerful card. Speaking of powerful cards, we're now into the Majestics. Surgical Extraction is a 2 cost 4 attack in blue. It contracts you to banish blue cards, and when you do, you can also banish a card from their hand. Payday is a non-attack action that can gain you some extra silver if you've completed a contract. We've also seen Regicide, which is Arachne's specialisation, but this seems more about flavour than actual competitive play. Not that flavour's a bad thing, flavour's great, it makes stuff delicious. But I guess this sees more play if the royal talent is something that becomes more relevant. Leave No Witnesses is a 0 cost majestic attack action for 4, and you're contracted to banish red cards. But if it hits, you also get to banish their arsenal card, so like a mini CNC, pretty powerful. Eradicate is also pretty powerful. It comes in yellow flavour, it's a majestic, and the contract here is to banish yellow cards. Whenever this one hits a hero, you banish the top X cards of their deck, where X is the damage dealt by Eradicate. What's more is if you've got other contracts on the combat chain still open, then you might complete those more than once too. Completing more than 1 contract's going to rack you up some serious silver, although we haven't got a great deal to do with silver yet other than recur your equipment and maybe use cash in, but who knows what's coming in future sets. The assassin class is oozing with flavour and I can't wait to get my teeth into it. The illusionist class also got some more stuff. Literally stuff. Material. Dust from the Red Desert is a 0-cost red pitch ash card. You put it into play as a material that you can then transform into dragon. We've seen a few different iterations of this, like Dust from the Shadow Crypts. If you transform each of these into their respective dragons, that dragon will then lose Phantasm. So if you transform Dust from the Red Desert into Vincerikai, Vincerikai won't have Phantasm. Likewise, Dust from the Shadow Crypt will allow Necria not to have Phantasm. And Dust from the Golden Plains will allow Themai not to have Phantasm. We've also seen Phantasmal Symbiosis, a yellow pitch, 1 cost, 6 attack with Phantasm, and when you attack with it, cards with the name that you choose are Illusionist until the end of their turn, which means they can't trigger Phantasm. Young Prism may be getting some more tools. We've also seen Tome of Ao, a blue pitch, 1 cost Illusionist aura in Majestic Rarity that pops at the start of your action phase to give you a card. It also has Ward 1, which means whenever damage will be dealt to your hero, you prevent 1 of it. We've got another Illusionist aura in the way of Blessing of Spirits. This also has Ward 1, but when this one pops, it gives you 3 spectral shields for the red version, probably 2 for the yellow and 1 for the blue. We've also seen the first light Illusionist card printed since Monarch. Soraya, Archangel of Knowledge, is an angel ally that can be invoked by transforming a spectral shield you control. She costs 2 to invoke, plus your spectral, and she has Ward 4, which seems pretty outrageous. It costs 2 to make her attack, but when she attacks and deals damage, you gain that much life. It's lifelink. She's got lifelink. And that's it for the Illusionist cards, a few tasty morsels to gobble up. Brute players have got an appetite for spoilers. They've been munching on a rock for the last couple of weeks. They're hungry for more, and they've got some good stuff here. Berserk is a 1-cost, yellow pitch, majestic non-attack action that reads until the end of turn, whenever you discard a random card with 6 or more power, banish it. If you do, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's got 6 or more power, draw a card. Seems like this is a piece that's going to fuel some bigger turns. Bit like a mini Bloodrush Bellows if you like. They also got Savage Beatdown, a 6-power majestic attack in red that costs 2. You can only play it if you discarded a card with 6 or more power. As an additional cost to play it, you have to discard a card. And if the discarded card has 6 or more power, Savage Beatdown gets plus 6. That means it comes in for 12. I mean, that's pretty big. But Brute fans were more excited by Skullcrack, a majestic 6-power attack that costs 2, comes in red, but when you discard it at random, you gain a resource. It's a utility piece, and a good one. It's wholesome, it's nourishing, and Brute fans are gobbling it up. They got some more utility in the form of Reincarnate, a 3-cost attack. The yellow version comes in for 6, but when it's discarded at random, it goes on the bottom of your deck. So it's been a wholesome, balanced meal for Brutes so far this spoiler season. Warrior players were left with a bad taste in their mouths after the axe was spoiled, but now they've got something a bit tastier. Jabeel's Spellbane. It's a 2-handed sword that costs 1 to attack for 3, but whenever it hits, you create a Spellbane Aegis token. And that reads, you destroy it if you're going to be Prevent Arcane, and it prevents 1 of that arcane damage. This might be a sideboard utility piece, but it's pretty tasty. And with the sword, we got a side serving of axe support. That makes sense, right? Cleave is a majestic warrior non-attack action that reads, your next axe this turn gains plus 4 power. And when this hits a hero or ally, you may deal that much damage to another ally controlled by the same hero. That axe is going to need more than this if it's going to see any play. One card that is set to see some play though is Ironsong Pride. It's a warrior instant aura. Yep, I think that's the first time we've had that in Warrior, an instant aura. It costs 1 and it lets you put a +1 counter on a sword you control. If on a turn your sword doesn't hit, you destroy it and all the counters on the sword. It's basically Dawnblade's ability on a card, and Dawnblade's a pretty good weapon. That means you can turn that other Spellbane whatsamajig into a pseudo Dawnblade. I mean, that seems pretty powerful, right? Another card that's likely to see some play is Precision Press. This is a rare, so it comes in red, yellow and blue flavours. It gives your next sword or dagger attack go again and piercing 1, 2 or 3 dependent on the colour you play. Piercing seems like a pretty powerful ability, and when you bolt it onto go again on your weapon, warriors are going to love it. Light warrior players also got something tasty. Spirit of Arena. It's a legendary, so you can only have 1 in your deck. It's also legendary rarity. If this would be put into your soul, you may put it into the arena, and it allows you to play Luminar Ascension at instant speed. At first this seems a bit meh, but then when you think about it, Playing Lumina Ascension at instant speed means that you don't break the combat chain in a Via the Vanguard turn. And Via the Vanguard into a Lumina, that just seems delicious. It also means that when you play Lumina as an instant, you're going to gain an action point as the Go Again resolves. So those combo players that keep getting scuppered by a blizzard can just play Lumina in response, regain their action point and carry on. Cheers for turning up, Icelander. So all in all, a bit of a mixed bag for warrior players, like they got licorice mixed in with their Haribos. By the time I was producing the video, we hadn't seen much from Guardian. One thing we had seen though was this Majestic, Buckle. A 3-cost blue pitch non-attack action in Majestic rarity. It gives the next Guardian attack +1, dominate, and when it hits a hero, destroy an equipment they control with a -1 counter on it. We've also seen the Guardian rare, Blessing of Patience. This is a 1-cost aura that at the start of your next turn, you destroy it and it gives your hero +life. Depending on which colour you play, the red gives you +3. Each set seems to give us a few more Guardian auras. Perhaps there's a hero coming down the pipe that's going to make use of them. Mech players have been extremely patient waiting for new stuff, but they finally hit the payload this week, pun intended. They got some arm equipment in the shape of Galvanic Bender. It's a material, and while it's under a permanent, that material has +1. It also defends for 1 with Battle Worn. This is the first time we've seen equipment being used as a material. That's a sign of things to come. Nitro Mechanoid. Just look at it. It's an absolute beast. You have to build it during the game. This is insane. It's a weapon that attacks for 5 or 6 if you've got the Galvanic Bender under it as a material. It blocks for 5 with Temper. The attacks have Overpower and you just banish a card from underneath it to attack with it. So you attack for essentially free. But all the work to get this out is in the setup. You have to transform all of your equipment, including your weapon, and 3 hyperdrivers. So we got a hyperdriver reprint. So now we've got that in all colours, to ensure a little bit more consistency in being able to get those out. We also got Blessing of Ingenuity in rare, which allows you to destroy at the start of your turn to go and find up to 3 hyperdrivers from your graveyard or banish zone and put them into the arena. This is going to help a lot, especially if you've been boosting away with Reckless Gay Abandon. We also got BIOS Update, a Majestic, a 0-cost buff of 3 on your next attack, and it allows for the next item banished due to a boost cost this turn to just enter the arena. Brilliant. And the spice just kept coming. Pulse Wave Harpoon is a red Majestic. It costs 1 and it swings for 4. It says, when this attack hits a hero, they reveal X cards from their hand where X is the number of times you've boosted this combat chain. You then choose a card with defense equal to or less than X and add it to the combat chain as a defending card. So mech players getting a little bit of disruption. But also, this card has boost. It's awesome. They also got Plasma Mainline, an item that enters the arena with 5 counters on it. When all those steam counters are gone, you destroy it, but when a mech item comes in, you add an extra counter to it. We also got Urgent Delivery, a 0-cost attack for 4, and when it hits you may put a mechanologist item from your hand into the arena with cost less than or equal to the number of times you've boosted this combat chain. Mech players have had a long wait to work up their appetite, but they've had some spicy meatballs this spoiler season. Azalea fans are still trying to solve their unsolvable puzzle. Let's see what new pieces got thrown into the mix. We've got some more arms. We didn't need arms, we needed a chest. We've got 2 heads and 2 arms. Hornet's Sting defends for 1 with Blade Break, and when it defends, you reveal the top card of your deck. If it's an arrow, deal 1 damage to the attacking hero or ally. Otherwise, put it on the bottom of your deck. Jury's still out on this one, but it could be powerful, especially if you could recur it like you can with the Assassin class. We also got Hemorrhage Bore, another arrow with some gruesome artwork. We kind of found out what aim counters do as well, although aim counters might do different things on different arrows. In Hemorrhage Bore's case, it turns it into a mini CNC. I'm just not sure that's enough for this to see play at the minute. Ranger's also got a new Majestic arrow, Heat Seeker. Cost 1, comes in for 5, and when it hits, at the beginning of your end phase, put the top card of your deck face up into your arsenal. Lexi fans rather than Azalea fans like the look of this one. So all in all, Ranger's stuff so far is a bit vanilla. You know, it's alright, we'll eat it. And with a little bit of trepidation, we venture into the Runeblade spoilers. And they got a book as their weapon, the Annals of Sutcliffe. Once per turn action, you could pay 3, you draw a card, and if an attack action card and a non-attack action card were pitched to do that, you can have a rune chant. Although it's good to see Runeblade weapons powered down a little bit, this does not make up for Rosetta Thorn. We've also seen Skyfire Lanterns, which comes in red, yellow and blue flavours, which allows you to reveal the top card of your deck, and if it's the corresponding colour to that card, you create a rune chant token, and it has Go Again, and it's free. We've also seen Cryptic Crossing, a yellow pitch 3 cost attack action that comes in for 6. Like the book, it gains an extra ability if you pitch an attack action and a non-attack action card to it. The effect it gains from doing that says, the first time this deals damage to a defending hero, they discard a card and you draw a card. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Diabolic Ultimatum is a non-attack action, and it's modal depending on what you pitch, whether you pitch an attack action or a non-attack action. If you pitch an attack, each hero chooses and destroys an ally they control. If you pitch a non-attack, each hero chooses and destroys an aura they control. If you pitch both an attack and a non-attack, you get both. The guys at Push the Point spoiled Looming Doom. It's a Runeblade aura that when you play it, it pops all your rune chants and they all become doom counters on Looming Doom. At the beginning of your upkeep, you remove one and it deals 2 arcane damage to the opposing hero. I wasn't sure about this at first, but no, this is good. Runeblade has also got another aura in the form of Blessing of Occult. At the start of your turn, you destroy it and you gain 3 rune chants. For the red version, 2 for yellow, 1 for blue. I feel like Runeblade's got some powerful stuff here, but a lot of it revolves around some different strategies, which is nice. It's not just more powerful versions of the same stuff. Okay, let's see those wizard spoilers now. So they got a wizard instant. It costs 3, pitch is blue, and it's majestic rarity. Until the end of turn, your hero gains, whenever you draw a card this action phase, deal 1 damage to any target. Seems good, wizards want to draw cards and deal arcane damage. Aether Quickening is a rare, so probably available in all the colours. It deals 4 arcane damage to a target hero for the red version at a cost of 1. It also has Surge, so if it deals more than 4 damage, it gains Go Again. We've also seen Swell Tidings. This is a majestic rarity and pitches for red. It costs 3 and it deals 5 arcane damage to the hero with Surge, but Surge in this instance is 5. The Surge effect from this is to gain a Ponder token. That's a new token type, which reads, at the beginning of your end phase, you destroy Ponder and draw a card. So just more dealing arcane damage and drawing cards. Playing wizard's easy. Jokes. We got other new tokens in Ninja. We finally got to find out what a Crouching Tiger was, and the art's awesome. It's a 0 cost, 0 attack with Go Again. But it never goes to the graveyard. It just vanishes. Like a ninja. We also got the rare Flex Claws. Being a rare, we hope it comes in all the colours. It costs 1 and the red attacks for 4. When it hits, you create a Crouching Tiger in your banish zone. You may play it this turn, and it has built-in Go Again. And we got some Crouching Tiger interaction in the way of Tiger Swipe. This is a majestic, it costs 0 and comes in for 2. It has combo, so if Crouching Tiger was the last attack on the combat chain, it gains +2, Go Again, and when this hits, create X Crouching Tigers in your banish zone, where X is the number of Crouching Tigers you control. You may play them this turn. We got another majestic in the way of Mind State of Tiger. This is a 0 cost blue pitch aura. It says at the start of your turn, destroy Mind State of Tiger, and then create a Crouching Tiger in your hand. We got another ninja aura in Blessing of Ki. This time it's at rare, so should be available in all the colours. It costs 1, and at the beginning of your turn, you destroy it, and then you create a Crouching Tiger in your banish zone, and it gains +3. You can play it this turn. So ninjas have got tigers for days. Now all they need is an Art of War, or some effect like that, because Art of War is quite expensive these days. There are a couple of generic cards also spoiled this week, and they ooze that royal flavour. Imperial Edict is an item. It's legendary, so you can only have one in your deck. As an action, you can destroy it, and then you name a card. The name card can't be played until the end of your next turn. That's a pretty powerful effect. It becomes even more powerful if you're royal, because if you're royal, your opponents will reveal their hands before you choose the card. We've also had revealed the Imperial Ledger. This costs 0, is also legendary, and as an action, you shuffle the Imperial Ledger into its owner's deck, create a copper token, but if you're royal, you create a gold token. I feel like both these cards are here just for flavour. They're basically seasoning, but what's a good meal without some seasoning? And that about wraps it up for this spoiler video. This set's shaping up to be a good one. It's definitely going to give the meta a shake up, and there's lots of new strategies for old heroes to try. There's also some new heroes to try out. We're going to be trying those out on this channel, so like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.